Before it was remembered as a historic attraction, the Tower of London was already a warning raised in stone. It was not built merely to defend the city, but to teach who ruled over it. Every wall, every tower, and every gate said the same thing. Here, power has form, height, and permanence. It was not simply a castle, but an image carefully designed to produce obedience even before any judgment. Outside, the mass of stone imposed distance. Inside, it began to tighten the breath. That is how the architecture of fear works. First, it impresses, then it compresses. Anyone entering that place did not need to hear threats to understand that the exit might no longer belong to them. In the tower, imprisonment and authority were never opposites. They were part of the same political performance. There, punishment was not only physical, it was visual, spatial, and psychological as well. The cold stones did not conceal violence, they organized it. That is why the tower does not feel merely ancient, it feels disciplined for intimidation. The silence of that place never feels neutral. It feels like a continuation of authority. And the deeper one moves through it, the more one realizes that every space was designed to control both body and imagination. Small windows did not merely serve protection, they also limited the horizon of those inside. Narrow staircases, rigid passages, thick doors. The feeling is never one of free movement, but of forced direction. The Tower of London was at once fortress, living archive of fear, and theater of royal power. Great monuments of authority do not need to shout. It is enough that they remain standing for long enough. That is where the first rupture appears. Fear did not arise only from what happened there, but from the appearance of what might happen there. The possibility of punishment, when staged well, can be more powerful than punishment itself. The tower transformed stone into political language, and that language was perfectly intelligible to every subject. For centuries, anyone looking at those walls did not see defense alone, they saw the material form of the state's will. Yet the place became even more disturbing when power ceased to feel abstract and acquired corridors, cells, and gates. In the tower, architecture never ended at the wall. It advanced into the mind of anyone passing through it. That helps explain why the place remained so powerful even when it no longer needed to prove everything by force. Monuments like this endure because they continue teaching through form how fear should be remembered. The ravens, almost motionless upon the walls, seem to turn the landscape itself into a superstition of state. They are not merely picturesque detail, they function as a symbolic extension of permanence and threat. The second rupture lies here. Fear does not always depend on darkness, because at times it is organized in full light. A witnessed execution, a known prison, a recognizable wall, all of this turned punishment into a public message. The spectacle of power had to remain visible enough to pass through the city long after it had ended. That is why the tower functions as a symbolic machine. It captures the gaze, organizes emotion, and shapes collective memory. Whoever was taken there did not merely enter a building, but a spatial system constructed to diminish their freedom. Those who remained outside were affected as well, because the mere sight of the fortress already taught the price of disobedience. The most effective authority is the one that manages to seem inevitable, and the Tower of London mastered that art for centuries. Even today, when crossing those courtyards and corridors, the sensation is not merely of the past, but of a disciplining presence. That is because certain places preserve more than events. They preserve the emotional form in which power wished to be felt. The tower was not built to be loved, nor to be comfortable, nor to be forgotten. It was built to endure long enough for the stone itself to seem to legitimize the authority that raised it. In the end, the lesson of the Tower of London is simple and disturbing.
Fear, too, can be constructed, and when it is built from stone, height, silence, and memory, it can survive long after kings, sentences, and screams.